Hello, today I'll be releasing another essential tip that can help you sleep better. It doesn't matter how long you've been struggling with sleep. It doesn't matter how difficult it is for you to sleep. Some people have actually even thought that their sleep problems would never ever be solved, that they would forever depend on medications, or that their brains just have a problem, a chemical problem, or some other problems of some sort that would not allow them ever sleep like others or sleep that they've slept in the past. So this is what I'm addressing in this video, and I started actually making videos on sleep in the past couple of weeks, and I've been addressing important issues relating to sleep. So this is what I'll be doing again in this video. I'm building, this set of instructions, this set of essential information, and really them out actually, step by step, so that people can, when you put them all together, certainly it will address what your problems are. Like I said in previous videos, that there is no one size fits all. Each individual person who has difficulty sleeping would be different from others, and so the tip that would apply to Mr. A would certainly be different from the tip that would apply to Mr. B, and it all depends on each person's peculiarity. But certainly if you listen to all of the tips I'll be offering, certainly one of those tips will likely work for you. And if you're having any challenges, of course you know where to find me. I am a neurologist in King's College Hospital in Dubai. So today I want to talk about two essential, concepts when it comes to insomnia and sleep. And those are the concepts of, one, sleep debt, that is owing something, DEBT, and then the concept of sleep restriction. These are two interwoven concepts that need to be well understood, and these concepts actually, we use them in the clinic to help people sleep naturally. If you've been following my video, you would know by now certainly that I'm not a big fan of prescribing sleeping aids. So we work hard to help people restore their sleep naturally. I believe sleep is a natural phenomenon, so people should not have to depend on pills to sleep. And for me, it doesn't matter how long or how serious the problem is. We tackle it head on using scientifically proven concepts, and I have helped a good number of patients restore their sleep and restore their confidence in sleep. So now we'll start with the concept of sleep debt. Now this concept looks at the fact that there is a prescribed or recommended or an ideal number of hours that people are expected to sleep for in a day. I will take again the case of Mr. X. So Mr. X, for instance, needs to sleep for 7 hours. This is there for them to function properly. So if they sleep for 5 hours, then it means there is a sleep debt or a sleep deficit of 2 hours, which means that this brain of theirs has not rested enough. Therefore, they are owing a sleep of about 2 hours duration on the first night. And let's say the second night they sleep for just 6 hours. Again, there is a debt or sleep deficit of 1 hour, making it a total of 3 hours of debt that has to be paid back. Because naturally, when the brain hasn't rested enough, it means it's owing, and it's owing some sleep, and ultimately you've got to pay back for the brain to function properly. So this is a very, very powerful tool that we harness in the sleep clinic, and we use it to help people restore their sleep. And that is, woven into the next concept I'm going to talk about, and that's sleep restriction. I need your patience actually to get through this video so you can understand everything and start to apply it in your life, and certainly it's going to transform your sleep and I want to hear from you how it's, helping you. Before I go ahead, I'd like you to please subscribe and share, and of course, turn on your notifications so you can be one of the first people to get to know when these videos are released. All right, so sleep debt. So this is so powerful that when I see people who are having sleep problems for a long time, what I do first of all is give them a sleep diary to complete at the end of every night, and that gives me an information about what their sleep actually looks like. And now let's take the case of Mr. X again. So let's say Mr. X, on a long-term basis, I've realized that every night they go to bed, let's say at 10 o'clock, they wake up at, let's say, 5 o'clock. So they spend 7 hours in bed. And I calculate how much of the 7 hours do they actually spend sleeping. Maybe they don't fall asleep until after, let's say, 2 hours. And then when they sleep, let's say they wake up for 1 hour in between, and then they sleep again, and eventually they wake up at 5 a.m. So it means they only actually sleep for 4 hours. So there's there's an initial 2 hours that they need to fall asleep, and there's a 1 hour in which they are awake in the middle of the night, so a total of 3 hours. So they spend 7 hours in bed, but the actual amount of sleep that happens in this 7 hour period is 4 hours. So it means that 3 hours is wasted in bed. So their sleep efficiency is quite low. That's another concept. So when I look at this diary and I look at it over a period of a week or two, I have an understanding of how much this person actually sleeps. So what I do is eventually I look at, okay, you only get to sleep for 4 hours in a 7 hour period. So what if I restrict your time in bed to just, let's say, 5 hours? What's going to happen? Then people might think, oh, that's too little. But the point is, you are actually just sleeping for 4 hours. So I haven't done you any disservice by making you be in bed for just 5 hours. So we can now say, henceforth, you will go to bed at, let's say, 12 midnight and be up at 5. Or let's even say we make it 6 hours. So we say you go to bed at 12 midnight and you're up at 6 a.m. So we agree on that in the clinic that you're not going to change it. And for the next 2 weeks, you're going to be going to bed consistently at 12 midnight and waking up at 6 a.m. No longer going at 10 and waking at 5. So what's going to happen eventually is that, let's say the first night you go to bed, second night you follow that 12 to 6 pattern. And of course, you're not going to get to sleep for the entire 6 hours that you have in bed, but I've said you cannot stay in bed beyond this period. What's going to happen is, let's say the first night you go to bed and eventually you fall asleep at 1 a.m. and you're up at 6 a.m. You've only slept for 5 hours. Now there's a debt of 2 hours. Remember, this person needs 7 hours to function. There's a debt of 2 hours. The second night, the third night, the fourth night, let's say it's like that for a week. So this person is going to have a sleep debt of 2 times 7, and that's going to be 14 hours. So it gets to a point that the sleep debt is so high that it becomes so powerful, because the fact is, the higher your sleep debt, the more likely you'll be able to fall asleep. Think about it, on some nights when you sleep so poorly and you're so tired, the following night you get to sleep better. So for an individual who has accrued over time a lot of sleep debt by missing 2 hours every night, eventually after 2 weeks you have at least 14 hours of sleep debt. And that actually is a bank, almost like where you've been depositing your savings. And ultimately you realize that at the start of the sleep restriction, they were having difficulty falling asleep initially. Maybe they go at 12, like I said, 12 to 6, and they're not able to fall asleep until there's a 2 a.m. No problem. But ultimately, the debt continues to accumulate. The poorer they sleep, the more the debt. And then it gets to a point where the debt is so high that they hit the bed and they fall asleep immediately. And they sleep until 6 a.m. And in fact, they need the alarm to wake them up. And then even though the body needs more sleep, you're consistently getting out of bed at that time. So you constantly have a repository or a bank of sleep deficit that you can rely on to fall asleep. So this is a powerful tool that we use in the clinic, and that's the concept of sleep debt creation. And then we use sleep restriction to create a sleep debt, and it helps to now ensure consistency of sleep. I must say that when people are starting, the first week or two is often a struggle. It's not easy at all. You might be in bed, let's say I give an instruction of 12 to 6 to Mr. X. They might be in bed from 12 and not fall asleep until 3, and they would only have slept from 3 to 6. So they would only have slept for 3 hours, and they are not allowed to extend. So they would feel tired, they would struggle in the day, but these are temporary sacrifices for long-term benefit and gain. And then once we've created that consistency and developed that huge deposit or repository or huge sleep debt that helps to propel sleep every night for long enough, then we'll start to now lessen the restriction. We start to get higher sleep efficiency. Then we start to reduce the restriction, and then maybe we increase from 6 hours to 6.5 hours, and then to 7 hours. And ultimately you see people's sleep improving as we monitor their sleep diaries over weeks. Typically over a period of 6 weeks to 7 to 8 weeks, you see sleep actually improving. So this is one of the concepts we use in the clinic to improve sleep. It's one of the most powerful tools we use, in what is called a CBT-I, that's the cognitive and behavioral therapy for insomnia, which is usually one of my favorite go-to tools for treating insomnia. I'm not so much of a fan of prescription of sleep aids. So I thought it would be important to release this information for people to understand that concept that we use in the clinic to restore sleep. And I've seen it work a lot. So there are many other concepts that I'm going to be unveiling in future videos about how we help people sleep better. So please subscribe and stay tuned for the next set of videos. Till I come your way again, I am Dr. John Oluwole, and I'm signing out. Thanks for watching today.